fill up and like the water will run over the ditch. I'm usually never happy.
Yeah, hopefully that way.
We're ready to go, and Matt's got to get out of here. So,
Start the pledge allegiance.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Good evening, everyone. We will start with the approval of the agenda. Any changes need to be made?
No, ma'am.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda.
No, second.
The only thing that we don't have, we're missing the administrators, and I think we can see that. We just have one, and he's gonna keep it short.
That's right.
We have an agenda on top of our agenda. Roll call, please.
Dr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Mr. Lucero?
Yes.
Mrs. Gonzalez?
Yes. Approval of the minutes from the March 13th, 2023 regular meeting, addendum A. Anybody see any changes that need to be made?
I see. Hopefully.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Dr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Mr. Lucero?
Yes.
I don't see anybody here for public comment, so we'll start and end with Mr. Gordon.
All right, good evening, board members. There's 19 days of school left, okay? So we're counting it down, it's going by fast. Progress reports will come out in the district on Thursday of next week. We're having a parent support night Thursday of next week that's sponsored by the United Way and the Eastern Plains Council of Governments. This one is, it's kind of similar to what we did before. This time it's going to be, Mesa Counseling is going to be represented there. And this is something they're doing in Logan, San Home House, and Tucumcari. So we're winding up track at the middle school. Semester exams are on the way. State testing is on the way. End of year events are on the way. And that's that.
Any questions?
Are they gonna do a field track for the sixth graders this year?
No, we don't do
Don't
that.
do that?
We just do what we call the Pan Am Games on the last day of school, where we have crazy games in the gym. 4 teams, everybody's mixed up, 6, 7, 8 graders.
And I asked Alan earlier in the month that the straight A banquet was usually the second Tuesday in May, is that correct? So, I'll start planning for that as well.
You guys can think of any speakers that have graduated here, or, you know, I know you've done it before.
Oh,
If you think of anybody, please give me ideas. After this many years, I'm
yeah,
running out
I'm
of
starting to
people.
run out of people too. But I'll see if I can.
Okay,
Okay, superintendent's report?
go ahead, Monty.
Alrighty, behind addendum B is our our fund balance report, which is total by each fund. The ending number on the bottom there matches with our operating bank statement. Our cash report is next, and midway down on the 3rd page does show it's reconciled, so all of our accounts added together. The next thing is a mistake of mine. We attached the wrong bank statement to your packet. So I have the correct bank statement, which does match the fund balance report, if you care to see that. This is our draw account, which usually goes to zero, at the end of the month. Addendum C is our check listing, which is all the checks written and cleared for the month of March. Addendum D is our activity bank statement. The ending number on the tape there in the corner matches with our fund balance report for the 23,000 funds. And behind addendum E, we had one increase bar, which was the Perkins grant final allocation we got for that. 2 decrease bars. One was operations, which was a decrease in our SEG due to our actual, was it 80 day that they take? I think it's our 80 day 80-day, we projected more than what our actuals were, so we had to do a decrease bar and get some of that back. The other decrease bar was in our ESER 2. 2 transfer bars, and we had multiple maintenance bars, and all the corresponding journal entries are attached. Any questions?
Dr. Checo, no questions?
No questions, sorry.
Mr. Lucero?
No questions.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez.
Okay, as far as construction, they have set the units on the A side. We did have a issue where they were, unhooked some units on the B side. We had them hook those back up. That should have never happened. I think the electricians got ahead of themselves, so they should be getting those units running on A side, and we should be able to start on the other side, but we're going to wait until after the kids are gone to make any cuts or do anything like that. That way we don't have a mishap like we did before, where they cut the roof, we had water in the building. But they were good enough about replacing all tile. They came in and made sure everything was right. That was on them, not on us. Baseball fields, we do have electrical and stuff. They're starting their conduit, stuff like that, and going to get ready for lighting. I know you've been in contact with Pacheco's today. They're going to get with well. We have reset points because on the original blueprints, it showed bringing that up 1.5 feet. If we would have brought that up 1.5 feet, just the fill alone would have been $400,000. So we reset the points. We know it will drain out there. It's been reshot by Leidy to make sure that it will drain, or that I'm right. Then Pacheco's should take those points, and we should be able to get something where we have the grading done, but we're not going to put any halt on anything. We're going to go ahead and start electrical and stuff like that, see if we get some lights in and etc. That's all I have for now on that. Any questions on that?
So the A side will be completely done,
A side will be completely done, yes, sir.
and then B side probably in the summer.
Yes. So yeah, because they won't have to work around any kids who know nothing, and they should be able to get up there and really get it done.
What's all the digging out there on this side?
Electrical,
Electrical?
yes. And did we have Excel engineer, do we have we had them come down yet?
For the fields or for
No, for the other. Well, they're gonna come down at the same time for both, but they haven't come down for the elementary.
No,
We
they
are
said
going to
they
have,
would
even
be.
though the engineer said it can handle it, I do want to make sure that building will be able to handle the load. So I want one of Excel's engineers to come look at what we have there and say, yes, it will take care of it, before we have another mishap. When we get in the middle of the heat, then all of a sudden we don't have enough power to operate those. So, but trying to get Excel here, that's like pulling teeth. They're scheduled way out, so. And that's all I have for you, and you have any questions?
Dr. Checo?
No, none of this stuff.
Mr. Lucero?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to action item A, the approval of the 2023-2024 school calendar, addendum H.
We had to go to 11:40 hours, just what passed. And I want to apologize to, I think you two that run the calendar committee. We normally have you in, but it got so hectic. I was out, and then when I got back, Ellen was out. And they want us to, we actually have to send in our calendar by day, every day. We have to send in a different one for middle school, high school. So we were trying to figure out what they wanted to do, but basically, on all three, we had the meeting, we gave the teachers 3 options to vote on. They all add 2 days to our calendar. And then we really needed a little bit more at the middle school, but we're going to add 5 minutes to each day. Start school at 7:55 instead of 8.
That's the elementary, right?
Yeah, it's the elementary. And the teachers and the principals say, they're always there anyway. So we can do that and gain 2 days. And so we add 2 to the calendar and they get 2 there, and we're okay. The reason they have to have more is because they're not allowed as much on professional development. And plus they weren't going as many. And so we basically could have had two completely different schedules. Obviously, that doesn't work with buses, and, that's the state thinking that, so. But anyway, the teachers voted for a pretty traditional calendar. It starts first, 7th of August. It starts pretty early, but we get out a week earlier. We have basically Christmas like this year, we're off pretty much for 2 weeks. And we work fairly late up until the 21st, I believe. And other than that, it's pretty much the same. We had some options for someone to try getting out all week at Thanksgiving and adding 2 more days somewhere else. We gave them as an option, and it got more votes than what we'd had that come up once before, and it got more votes than it did before. And the other one, nobody wanted to come back on January 2nd. So I mean, or they wanted that. It still had 2 weeks, but this is the one they voted for. And, you have the final authority. I did tell them that.
And it's due to the state April 14th.
Yeah.
So we're past it. We're gonna have a special board meeting to do it. And I know Mr. Johnson has a lot of paper.
Well, I was trying to figure out today how to do the form. I called and asked, and she sent me the same thing that I already had, so. So I'm still not sure how we're gonna do it.
So we'll have 5 Fridays, right? Friday schools?
I believe it's,
Yeah.
what have we had this year plus 2 more? So,
Is there any adjustments in the other schools for start times?
No.
Just elementary?
Just elementary.
Now, because see, the elementary always had a little shorter day,
Mhm.
and so they didn't go as many minutes. We were in really good shape.
So-
Some schools are in.
Logan started 15 minutes early.
Yeah,
See, they moved theirs.
so what the deal is, on the 1140, elementary, you could include 60 hours of PD time in that 1140. At the middle school, high school level, you only can include 30 hours of professional development time. So we had to play with that to get that. You gotta remember, elementary was always at 990, and then we moved it to 1140, so that,
Works itself out.
yeah.
And they were, so they're letting you be a little bit more creative. So some schools are like going half a day and then having professional development the second half of the day. And of course, so then on that day, it will show, I mean, they're making this list, actual class time on every one of these 152 days. And then, so you could mix it. So, I mean, that's the purpose of them making it do that. I think, I think the plan was to have schools add a whole lot more time than what we ended up having to add. But we were already going more hours than most schools are, so I figured it's a wash in the end. But I think that we'll see this come back up again later, every year probably.
We just,
Anyway, I would recommend selecting that calendar that the teachers voted for.
Any other questions? I entertain a motion to approve action item A.
I'll make a motion that we approve action item A, approval of the 2023-2024 school calendar addendum H.
No, second.
Roll call, please.
North Pacheco,
Yes.
Mr. Lucero,
Yes.
and Mrs. Gonzalez.
Yes. Next will be action item B, approval of the 2023-2024 audit contract addendum I.
so we can keep the same auditor, so we just went out just to quotes at this point. One of the auditors was higher than the one that we currently have, and the other one was one of our past one, Byron, which you would remember, I don't think the rest of them would remember. Right now, the difference wasn't that great, it was like $2,000 from Byron to the one that we have now. And we could choose whatever one we want. I wanted to go ahead and have the same one that she's used to working with instead of throwing somebody new in her path at this point in time. And they worked out good. I think the boards have been happy with them at this point. So those are the ones that were chosen.
Any questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve action item B.
I'll make a motion that we approve action item B, approval of the 2023-2024 audit contract addendum I.
Second.
What's the name, please? Can we get a name, Heather? And I want you to reflect that in the minutes. The name,
Accounting and Financial Solutions.
can you say your motion again?
I want to make a motion to approve action items. B, approval of the 2023-2024 audit contract, financial solutions, accounting and financial solutions, addendum I.
Yeah, I think we need to reflect that.
And I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Lucero?
Yes.
Mrs. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Dr. Pacheco?
Yes.
Okay, board comments? Dr. Pacheco, you have anything?
I don't have anything at this time.
I wanted to present Monica and Veronica certificates for their work at our spring regional meeting, and we appreciated all you guys did on your spring break. And you guys missed out on some good desserts, and we also missed out on good desserts
They did
because Robert went like 3 or 4 times.
They did an outstanding,
Yes, they did.
outstanding
And
job.
we got lots of compliments. The Secretary of Ed was here, and he was very impressed with everything as well. So it turned out really nice. So I just wanted to give you guys this.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Give you guys a gift card from us.
Well deserved.
Yes, we appreciate you guys. There you go. Thank you. You
Yeah.
guys did a good job. We appreciate it.
Well deserved. I think they had fun.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what we did.
They had the police there and everything. That'll be the end of it. Thank you. Yeah, we gotta run. Take 11th Street, hit the road behind the Tri-Star and you'll get there just in time.
Director, okay.
Oh, you're in.